Now, it turns out that such anomalies like this inevitably occur when there are very simple shifts in the data reporting, even if the real mortality data for the vaccinated and unvaccinated are identical, as this following example shows. So imagine that we introduce a vaccine to a population of 10 million people over a period of several weeks, but the vaccine is actually a placebo, has no effect whatsoever. And let's assume that each week the mortality rate is constant at 50 per 100K. Then this is the data that you'll see. So the number of vaccinated increases each week, and the number of deaths amongst the vaccinated increases, while the number of unvaccinated each week decreases, while the number of deaths amongst the unvaccinated decreases. But of course, the mortality rates stay the same. They're still constant at 50 per 100K. Now, all I'm going to do is introduce a 1 week delay in death reporting. So the number of deaths in week 1 is going to get reported in week 2. In week 2, reported as week 3. So all I'm going to do is shift down by 1 row these deaths in each case. Everything else stays the same. So just look what happens to the mortality rate when I do that. The placebo vaccine appears to be miraculously, start halving the mortality rate of those who get the placebo, who get it, while for those who don't get it, the mortality rate increases, and it actually peaks at the same time as the program peaks. And of course, thereafter they begin to converge, but never, you've still got the unvaccinated always, having their mortality rate higher. So if we plot that, you can see that it's got all the similarities of the ONS data. And just to remind you of what that was, see the very similar patterns. Now, as it so happens, the particular ONS data set that we looked at, doesn't have a 1 week delay in death reporting, so that's not the explanation for the anomalies. However, we believe that those who die very shortly after vaccination, for example, in the same week as they get vaccinated, may be getting wrongly classified as unvaccinated. And it turns out the effect of that is identical to a 1 week delay in death reporting, as you can see here. Exactly the same pattern as the delay in death reporting you get from simply this misclassification of the newly vaccinated deaths.